Hi there. I'm back. Today I just wanted to talk about INFJs from within the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about their main function, introverted intuition, and just how it's interesting to me, and I want to understand it better. However, it kind of creeps me out. I'm going to be completely honest. It's very creepy to me. Um, I often find myself crushing really hard for these types um, because INFJs, they're very kind people. However, they can be kind on the surface and just like dark within. And so they're very like complicated people. And people always talk about INFJs and how they're the rarest type and they're so special and everyone wants to be an INFJ. You don't want to be an INFJ. I'm just going to say it straight up. Nobody should want to be an INFJ. It is weird, it is creepy, and they go through things that are so ridiculously complicated that they can barely articulate it. And I will just say that flat out. And I as an INFP, can understand INFJs because I have a really, really complicated, weird life, just like anybody else. But I think when you have people who claim you to be and brand you as evil in your life, like pure evil, like I've been like branded as like, I don't want to be too crude, but as a school shooter, like I have been painted that before. And when you have that kind of experience where you're so dramatically alienated and you are painted as just pure evil when you're not, that really messes you up. And that's why I think INFJs get like a bad rap, is that they want to do good. But in facing the evil that they want to conquer, they get branded as it. And I guess the first thing that comes to mind is just like people like Jesus, who were like often branded as heretics. That can happen within just a regular INFJ. My favorite INFJ, I believe, is the main boy from Pay It Forward. I love that movie so much. I recommend you watch it. If you want to understand the mind of an INFJ, watch the movie Pay It Forward. But it's about a little boy who wants to make the world a better place. He sees a homeless man and he takes him into his home and he takes care of him. And he comes up with a theory, he calls it Pay It Forward, where if he helps one person, that person can help two other people, and it creates a skill branch of just people helping each other. It is really, really cool, and it works. Pay It Forward is actually something used in the real world, just based on the movie itself. And people helping each other is a compound thing, is what you learn. And so the second function on an INFJ is extroverted feeling. An extroverted feeling is used as a way for people to come together. It is the group. We will work together to do the thing. And we will do it together and we will all agree on it. And that's what their second function is. So I like that. As an INFP, I'm drawn to that. However, that's more in my shadow functions. And even though I like and appreciate it, I don't understand it. So you want to get into a group setting and you want to have a hive mind and you use your gut feeling to make judgments. And generally, they are popular people. I'm going to be honest. I've met INFJs who, they're often leaders. They are like the student body president, they are the club leader, they are people who are powerful, at least socially. So when I like an INFJ, I will often just straight up walk up to them and get to know them one-on-one, because not very many people want to talk to them, because they have a position that makes other people believe as though they are above them in terms of hierarchies. And I just think that there's a lot to talk about with INFJs. And their third function, TI, makes them very analytical and smart. That's another reason why when I meet one, I just want to pick their brain, right? It's like talking to an INTP where they use logic and they analyze things subjectively and they really think through problems. They are very philosophical. They can be somewhat romantic based on their Enneagram, and oftentimes they're sleep deprived. I'm going to be honest, they have a hard time relaxing. NI is not a comfort function, and that's another reason why I want to say you do not want to be one. I'm sorry, do not desire to be an INFJ. I can't say that enough. They never sleep, they never relax, they are always tense, they have a hard time just sitting still because their minds are constantly burr all the time. And oftentimes they suffer really complicated health conditions because of they're just constantly go and they don't rest nearly as much as they should. And but TI, that's their third function, which is introverted thinking. And then their last function would be extroverted sensing. And extroverted sensing is used as a stress function for them to get out of a situation. So they can learn how to use this a little bit, but it's still something they're really ashamed of. So they can door slam is what they call it. Door slam is when you just have had enough. You don't know how to deal with this person. You've tried everything to get them to go away, and then you just slam the freaking door on them and just run away. Like you get far away from them. Or it can also be like you just slam them socially. Like I remember there was this INFJ I knew who they have tried everything. They're trying to help, and then they're just like, you did this to yourself, right? And they just snap, and it's just like, oh, yeah, that's when you know that they've hit their limits in terms of what they can do. But it doesn't just manifest as, like, yelling or slamming the door. It also kind of manifests as, like, abusing drugs or overeating, indulging in things sensually, staying in a hot tub too long, showering for several hours, like... It can just be pure indulgence of the senses, or it can be overstimulus, they can get overstimulated, and then they just indulge in that stimuli, and it can be really dangerous. And oftentimes INFJs, when they're not okay mentally, they do really dangerous things. They live on the edge a little bit, and that's another thing that I really like about them is they often have fantasies about going out in a blaze of glory. And they really want that. They're not just like dreaming of it. They really want to go out in a blaze of glory. And they often have dark thoughts related to humanity. And they really think about like whether they'd want to be martyred or not. Like they think about those things. And I'm just like, whoa, let's slow your roll, like, geez. So, and I'm sure people have covered this topic a lot better than me, but the last function, SE, or extroverted sensing, makes them look a little bit like an ESTP. And that's good, because they are basically an upside-down ESTP. And in socionics, their natural pairing would be an ESTP. However, I don't agree with that. I really think that in the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, that they should go for an ENFP, because ENFPs have all of their shadow functions, and their shadow functions are things that they aren't consciously aware of, and they need to be brought to light. And ENFP or INFP, I'd say, are really good for INFJ. I say that because I want to be included, okay? I'm sorry, I want to be on that INFJ bandwagon, but yeah. And I find them to be really fascinating people to talk to, and I absolutely love to have conversations with them. I love to meet them, even though they are, like 0.7% of the population, so not even like 1%. So, anyways, that's kind of my 2 cents on INFJ. Thank you.